morning. Welcome to my news review. And these are taken from stories throughout different aspects, but it's just like people have reported. For example, today I'm taking something that I felt and I agreed with from, the show The Talk, because with the snow and everything, I'm homebound, so I might as well take a look and do these things. So, grab your coffee, your tea. Sorry, I had a blank moment there. Coffee, tea, hot chocolate, water, nothing if you don't want it. And relax, and we'll be back in just one moment. Okay, after fiddling and trying to get things straight and optical illusions and everything, this is the best I can do, and playing with a new tripod, and things aren't always working as great as they could. So, first thing I want to discuss, and I talked about it earlier, it came up on The Talk, and I want to give credit where credit is due. I'm sorry, I don't know the lady's name, but she mentioned the Oakland fire, or the women up at the table were discussing the Oakland fire. And they were talking about, I don't know, the criminals, the person who went on the show and, defending himself, but yet no one was talking about affordable housing. And affordable housing could solve a lot of issues out there. There are people on the street who are hooked on drugs because they have to escape somehow. Most of the people don't want to go to any sort of shelter because you really have religion thrown down your throat. That was the expression. Now, why is there always the feeling that people always have to give something in order to get? So, some people say they have to sit through religion classes, or you have to pay whatever you have. Well, why don't we get into affordable housing? Now, I'm disability, and I think I get something like $5.15 for rent. Well, what can people rent, especially in Vancouver, for $5.15? You can't really do it. I'm lucky enough that a family member has let me use their house, their home. But I'd be totally lost. And with a housing crisis in Lower Mainland, landlords are having major fun, and I can make this on B&B, I'll charge you all this, and whoever's going to pay the highest rent will get the place. So someone on disability is unlikely to get anything. So we get people living where they can. In this instance in Oakland, they were living in an abandoned warehouse. And, there's a whole bunch of saying it was deliberately sad, and the landlord getting upset. But I think we have to, as citizens, ensure that proper housing is built. Now, I'm not talking that, oh yes, they have to have the view of Falls Creek. And there's a few high-rises going in downtown, and immediately when they surveyed people or whatever, saying, oh well, if there's going to be those type of housing, they're going to have a separate entrance from me, aren't you? You forget you're all people. And taking care of your place is important. But maybe everyone who shares an apartment can help take care of it. I don't know, maybe we need to make up rules for this, but right now they want a separate entrance far away from where those people go in. And a lot of these people would love to come home to a clean, place where they could cook their own food, where they can rest, instead of under a tarp. And it's not going to disappear. It's city fault for all cities in Lower Mainland for not ensuring that there is adequate homes available. Not everyone can pay $1,500 minimum for a studio apartment. That's crazy. And do you think those are ever going to be rolled back? Well, they're not until Vancouver has a negative rental growth. Now, the way they keep building all these luxury apartments, who knows, it could happen. But right now we have an issue. If you go down, and I'm just talking, go down Granville. Now, I'm not talking about going down in Hastings and all that. On a Saturday afternoon, you can see people in doorways and who are obviously homeless. People say, well, if we build these places, they will come and they will, spray paint all over the place and gangs will move in. And I think if an area is built and you give the people control, sort of like a strata council, I don't think you'll find that. And maybe a police liaison with it. Now, I strongly don't believe that things should just be given free. If they get into an apartment, they can take care of it. They can probably start looking for a job and getting a job. One of the worst things about applying for a job when you're homeless is if you don't have an address. And I know even for 7-Eleven now, 7-Eleven isn't a great job, but you do have to have a proper address to work there. What do you put if you have a house that, or that you don't live in anymore, and you write it down, and when they start sending mail and it starts coming back, they're gonna really, you could possibly lose your job over it. So what is a person to do? We talk about, oh, well, they do drugs. And I mentioned that. Part of it is they do drugs because they're stuck out on the street. BC Housing doesn't have enough. Now, if they were able, I don't know, maybe have a bathroom and, I don't know, a couch type thing, and maybe a place to fix their meals that is safe. All of that can be done. And those contractors that keep putting up those massive buildings and keep expecting luxury tenants are going to move in are eventually going to find that there is too much being built down there, and eventually all of a sudden we're going to have a housing crisis, and people are going to, oh well, here, we'll charge this for it. Well, it's almost like it's going to be the reverse. But until we reach that point, we have people out there living in doorways, carrying everything in shopping carts. And I've heard them treated like second-class citizens. And we need to ensure that these people are treated the same and with respect. When I worked at 7-Eleven, and this is years ago, where I worked at a Gravel and, where was it? Drake? And so often people would come in with, all the little change, and they wanted a hot dog. I spent time with them, and, what do you want? And it was sort of like, some of the managers would say, oh, come on, they're just low life people. Just, if they don't have enough, just kick them out. And, sometimes I would throw in a nickel or whatever. I was secure, so doing little things can help. Pass on the kindness that you have. So often you go into a store and you expect excellent customer service. But these other people, they go into a store and they are treated like scum. Oh, they shoplift. They're followed all around. And unless you're sort of the power that has the money and everything, or you're not of a certain racial profile, then you might not get followed around the store that you're able to look. Other times, people keep saying, oh, do you want anything? Can I get anything for you? Our first step is treat everyone with respect. And I've seen people out there who've treated them with respect. And I would love to, again, when I was with training with 7-Eleven, one of the field consultants had this card as, I spot you doing something good, or whoops, we could have done better on one side or the other. And I don't know, if you did the good side, you would get, I don't know, Slurpee for free or whatever. But these little cards, okay, you were observed doing something negative. Well, it would allow you to change right there on the spot. It's not, oh, well, we're writing on an employee profile. But then acknowledge the people that are doing well. And anyone who comes in with money is one of your customers. They need to be held with respect, same as everyone else. But I don't know we do that. We see people on the street begging for money. Well, if you don't feel comfortable giving them money, what about giving them some food? We need to push city councils. We need to push the mayors. We need to push the provincial government. And we need to push the federal government to come up with solutions for affordable housing. It's sort of like, well, all these people don't vote. Oh, they really don't care, so. Well, they don't vote because I think part of it is you have to have an address. And when they don't have an address, it's kind of like, oh, well, I'm not going to go through all this rigmarole in order to vote. And there are people who, or there are political parties who are really kind of, oh, well, we're against that. We saw that down in one of the states in the last election. Oh, all this, we can't have that vote, and we are of a certain party, so we can close it down in that state. And that's the problem with having a two-party. In Canada, the really conservative parties have an issue with allowing other people to vote because they're afraid they'll be thrown out of power. We need to ensure that everyone has the right to vote. And who knows, maybe we'll be able to change society and get everyone out to vote. I think we have a provincial election coming up in May of next year. Maybe we can get out on the street. I don't know, give these people an address. Anyway, that's something to think about. Okay. So, there are a lot of dogs and pets of different varieties, and mostly dogs and cats that go out in the neighborhoods taking them for a walk. Now, there was a hit and run in Saanich, and the Saanich police are out looking for this hit and run person. Now, the hit and run was, the man was okay, but he was out walking his dogs. And the guy stopped and asked if he was okay, but he didn't offer help for the animals, and both of the dogs died. One died when they got home, and one when they went to a veterinarian clinic. Now, you've probably ruined a family. And, okay, it wasn't another person. But, we keep thinking, oh, well, people and everything, and, oh, it's ridiculous and such. But to a lot of people, their animals are family. And having people drive by and saying, "Are you okay?" but not offering assistance and saying, "I'm sorry for your dogs," this person probably doesn't care. He probably had to get to the nightclub or whatever. Or, he had to speed to meet up with a girl or. But do we take part in saying, okay, well, so what? You killed the dog, you get a new one. There's a lot out there. But it's amazing. You build relationships. With my dog, well, he's passed out right now. Of course, he's never up and active when I want him to be, but he and I, when we first met, we were total polar opposites. And in the 6 months since I've had him, Nico has grown into being a big part of my life. And a big part of everyone who sees him. Oh, he's just so friendly. And if I no longer had Nico for whatever reason, my life, I can see where people get upset because their lives are ruined because of the loss of an animal. And those of you who speed and go down our streets and high, you should really watch. You should really slow down. You may have it in your head that you have to be somewhere. And these people were at a crosswalk. They waited for the light to turn green, and then they walked through. Who says a dog's life isn't important? Well, it's obviously not important to that driver. And it would be great if that driver, when found, was charged with hit and run and 2 counts of murder. And, everyone would get upset and, get their heads rolling back in their head and everything. By saying that, it's, oh, well, it's just a dog. Deal with it. But a lot of people, these dogs are children. Now, as children get older and move away, a lot of people get dogs as comfort. For me, my dog is very special to me. First of all, he's a dog. He's my friend. Second of all, he does an awesome job at service. So, for you to say, oh, it's a dog, to a lot of these people, that's not the truth. I'm sorry, I didn't turn on the light today, but we're still seeing. So, why do we all have to speed all over the place? Is it to show that you have a big, brand new car that could go 140 miles in 2 seconds? But if someone scratched that car, people would just say, oh, well. We need to learn how to deal one-on-one with one another. Computers and everything. We forget animals go on every single day. Dogs help out quite a bit. There are cats out there that offer comfort, relieve stress. So, this person who decided to speed and kill a living being, yes, they checked on the guy, but didn't check on the animals and then just got up and drove off. They didn't at least stick around till the police got there. If you hit someone with a vehicle, you should really stay with them or stay with them till the police got there. People who get up and just drive off without taking responsibility for what they did should be charged to the full extent of the law. Now, I'm going to have people who disagree with me on this. And you're right. You're right to your own feelings on this, but we're not. Animals do have rights, and I hear stories, and it's been on TV, and I lived on Texas and heard this that people go out and they look for cows to tip. I don't know why there's a fascination with this, but you're causing death to an animal. I think I've said this story, but if you have an animal that you cannot care for, take it to SPCA, take it somewhere else where they can be properly cared for. If you're unable to, don't assume it's just an animal and that I killed an animal, big deal. It is a big deal. And people need to know this. The young drivers out there nowadays with their brand new cars and everything don't really care. There's a graduated licensing program, and I don't know if that really works. People are out there driving when they don't have their certification. You come down here in my cul-de-sac or whatever, and people will be out driving and they'll be on the wrong side of the road, and we have to weave in, and they're not even licensed in a vehicle. But when do we say, you know what? I've had enough. People should be responsible for if they hit a human, a pet, a service dog, and they should live up to their responsibilities because eventually you're all caught. And for example of this, let me get a drink here. I was up in Powell River opening up a store for a company I worked for. And I had landed, got to the hotel, and the store, I don't know, was like 7 blocks away or something. So I took my little rain umbrella and I got hit And it wasn't really a big hit, and it wasn't. I said, okay, I'm okay, and I kind of walked off. While, the police said, oh, well, we'll put the notice out here. And it was an elderly couple, and I knew that. But he came forward when he found out I was injured. And I didn't want a big amount of money off him or anything, but just to know that he actually came forward. So, people who think that they can hide, the police will eventually find ways of you. Now, this person, it was in Powell River, wasn't really hiding from me. It was just, I said I was fine and walked off, and as I walked, my knees started to hurt, and I was taken to emergency, and so having, you should be responsible for whatever injuries you cause to any member of family, dogs, cats, anything that people hold dear. It's something we can really think about. Okay, we're going to discuss this once more. The last couple of days have been fairly cold. Today, Thursday, will be probably the last day. We'll see some sun. And then we will head into another winter blast. We got hit on Monday, and, I really haven't been out of here. I thought I was going out and going to the doctor today and found that a gear in my chair broke all of a sudden. And, I was able to go 3 feet and then 3 feet back. So I was unable to make my doctor's appointment. So TransLink says they're ready. Metro Police say they're ready. The ambulance service says they're ready. Police and any emergency vehicle, give them the right of way. It's difficult for people to do that during normal operations. But you get snow on the ground and everyone, I've got to get home. Let's get home. I got to get home. But, it could be that someone is fighting for their life and needs those. So, there could be a fire blazing like Oakland. So pull over. If you're using summer tires, don't go out in your car. Use transit. Make sure you have proper footwear on. People need to learn that everyone's trying to get somewhere. But, everyone's moods and that become very hostile. Now, TransLink has on their website posted a letter, and I'll see if I can put it in there, and I give all credit to TransLink. This is just as an information thing. Is, they're making sure their lots are shoveled and that buses can get out. If you're unprepared, if you don't have kitty litter, if you don't have road salt, if you don't have a shovel or a blanket, then what are you doing out on the road in the winter conditions? Is there something that you can do at home? Oh, well, I was supposed to go out partying with so and so. Well, maybe wait till it starts to rain. Do you have to go out right now? Is it life or death? If there were ways that people can do work at home, wouldn't that make a better idea on a day like Monday? Or probably, I think they're saying tomorrow or tonight. Tonight and then early tomorrow morning. But, people keep wanting to drive at incredible speeds. And, it's sort of like there's snow. Oh, I can handle a car. There's always ice, especially when we have a snow and then we have another snow on top of it. And when it was wet snow and now it's frozen, there's ice under there. So people see, oh yeah, it snowed. I don't have a problem. And then there's people who go out driving and then they'll go to a party and they'll get, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm great here. Yeah, come on, let's go. Let me grab my keys. That's ridiculous. Drugs and alcohol, we're having an issue with it anyway. When you're out on the road. Now, if the Canadian government does this and brings out, okay, well, if marijuana is legal, what's going to happen with cars? So, that's off topic, but getting out and dealing with the snow. One of my workers who came Monday when it was just pelting down, the sun just sort of came up, and she was here on time. And I said, oh, I really wasn't expecting you on time. But she said, oh, I left early. And then I saw her again today. And she said, well, yeah, you had me on time. But then buses were going in the wrong directions and trying to get where she had to go. And first of all, I'm amazed that, she did her run on buses. But we need, you may be an excellent driver. You may have never had an accident. However, what's happening to other people out on the roads? People are out there driving without a license. They don't really know how to work a car on the best of days. And, in the snow, people are sliding. Oh, I've got to get to work, blah, 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 blah. If you can't make it, don't go out. For example, I missed my appointment and they asked, do you want to reschedule? And I said, sure, but I can't do it the rest of this week because of the snow. And she said, well, that's sensible, but you could probably get people who don't think of this. Oh, I want pizza delivery, but there's a foot of snow outside my place. I've mentioned this before, and this necessarily isn't to do with driving. It's people need to have their walk shoveled. If you're an owner, if you're a principal residence, or not, if you rent a house and you're the principal person renting the house, your sidewalks and the sidewalks in front of your house need to be shoveled. Your sidewalks in your complexes need to be shoveled in most places by 10 a.m. So get out there and shovel. Now, how about putting it forward? If you know someone who is elderly, a lot of times they will get out and get with their shovel and try to shovel. Maybe offer to help, maybe do it for them before being, seeing they're struggling with it. I've done a few of these already, and I just want to get the information across that you need to be safe. You need to help others be safe. If other people are stuck, offer a hand. But don't go speeding. Don't be a jerk out there. Yes, you have the brand new car and ooh, 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 ooh. And, I'm sorry. I don't feel guilty if you have an accident. I feel guilty for your victims. But getting out there and helping people is much more rewarding. But, you really don't care. So, they can just, I'm just important, they're not. And I've heard this when I've been in emergency rooms. Oh, well, I have whiplash. Meanwhile, the next bed is a person they hit. And, why are you paying more attention to them? Well, she's sicker than you are. She had, I don't know, a heavy car hit her at high speeds. But, oops, sorry. I think we need to learn how to take care of everyone. And that includes your next door neighbor. And if you don't know how to drive in the snow, or you're unable to get to work safely, call in, take a sick day. I'd be surprised how many bosses, well, I can work at home, I'll work at home. If you're able to do that, that's probably the best bet. Take a vacation day if you have to. But don't go out driving around. So be safe Friday morning. And we'll talk to you later. Bye now. Okay. We're out, and I'm taking a look outside the window, and there's still snow on the trees, but that I'm sure will change. And if you happen to cause injury to someone, stay close by. don't be such, oh, well, I have to push. I have to get somewhere. No, that's more important. If you injure someone, stop and help. If you see someone having trouble, offer to help them. But don't be a jerk and just pass them by and, oh, well, I'm getting going, so. Because one day it could be you in that situation. Anyway, talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully, you'll all be safe. Bye now.